Hi. So today I have a very special guest, Anupam Goswami. He happens to be one of my juniors from Kolkata. The reason why he's here on this show is that he's broken into this storied world of equity research big time. First as a sell side analyst and now as a buy side. Buy side means he's managing funds on behalf of the company and not a small sum of money, but 1200 crores. So, welcome to the show, Anupam. Very quickly, tell us about your journey, and then we'll move into the specific questions as this podcast moves forward.
Sure, Anurag. Thank you very much for having me here. Well, if I talk about my journey, it's how every student or every uh, Calcutta people goes through a CA journey. Born and brought up in Calcutta, did my schooling, everything in Calcutta. Uh, Born in a Bengali family. We are into traditional business totally. Had no idea about equity markets and everything, but I always had a knack for business and always had a knack for a new entrepreneurial sort of side always. And that's how my CA journey also started. Even after class 12, wanted to have more insight into the commerce and business industry. So hence got into CA. Also like a little on the side, like everybody or seeing my friends also doing CA and the kind of promises and the kind of career the course teaches, the ROI of the course and
But a
everything. So all
Bengali
those.
not taking science, how did that happen?
Well, it was always in my thing. So science, it's not something I do not respect or something. That obviously it's a very good journey for it itself. But I always had a little knack on learning the discrepancies, learning the economics. So economics was a favorite subject for me, and somehow learning about business, learning about new industries, which I used to read for, let's say, Tata, Reliance, all this, when we were students, I used to read. I had always had that knack of understanding and learning new businesses. So CA was something that came out of a course that, okay, this gives you an insight like how industry stalwarts, how they manage the business. Once you get to audit their company, all these things, learning from seniors, learning from teachers, that this was a course that gives you a very, very good insight and very hands-on, a grip, solid grip. You take out any other course, the kind of CA makes you how natural and how the kind of depth it has, it gives you immense knowledge. So that sort of respect I always had for CA, and I learned it along the way during the course. So hence, with certain consultations, certain with parents, teachers, I joined this. But again, no idea of equity research or this field at all when I joined. Uh, no one in my family or was in this field in a far way. Nobody had investment, all this, no idea about this. But yeah, I did it and I joined. And later on, during the CS studies, during the course of started uh, this investment field, right? The equity field, the capital markets that got introduced in the CA course during the course, especially during the CA final. There, I got really, really interested on this,
So then you
and I
completed
started.
L3
Hmm.
also along with
Yes, to
CA.
have a better grip on or more depth in this field, I took up CFA.
So how did you land into Smith Securities? I mean, because the roles in equity research are
Hmm.
limited, there are more
Hmm.
wanting to get into that than the actual number of seats in those companies. How did you get into that? How did you move then to Bombay? BNK
Hmm.
Securities happened. How was sell side? What exactly does sell side mean? I know for sure that you used to cover sugar while I was in job in a sugar company. So how do you hold these con calls? What is the kind of exposure that one gets?
Okay. So it would be very helpful for any young CAs also and students also wanting this. So what happened with me is that I was very clear. I do want to get into the capital markets in this field. I started during my studies, during my academic pursuit also. started watching CNBCs, watching reading the newspapers. So I started that journey while I was studying, uh, and I knew I had to. I was very clear that I will go in this. Did everything. I did not uh, pursue any other sort of jobs in this after clearing. I remember after GMCS, even talking to you, even talking to other seniors, so I got a good idea of how things were. Uh, that time, yeah, I got a very clear that this the field, every industry, the whole industry is in Bombay. That's how it is. Every ecosystem how it lands up. Bombay is the place. At that time, going to Bombay was a little difficult for me. Not knowing anyone in the industry, any connection, no connection was there at all. I uh, at my home from my home, I just plain and simple cold emails started sending. I took out list of brokers, list of PMS funds, list of AIFs, and every day, daily around 25, 30 cold emails used to go, and also LinkedIn, uh, messages, LinkedIn connections, and all those. That's how I started. Also, along this way, from internet and from other studies, uh, did my financial modeling also. So cold emails with financial model. I remember I used to send ACC model since my family background is also from cement business. So cement industry came natural to me, and I used to send a little short note on ACC. That was at and right now at this juncture, I feel that is very sort of very simple one. But nevertheless, I used to send one cold email, one financial model, and a small report on ACC cement. So that used to go everywhere. That's
I
how
think
I
that's a
landed.
major differentiator where people, instead of just sending CVs, you show some proof of concept that this is what I bring on the table, ready hands-on skills.
Yes, yes. That I think that has also gotten guidance from a senior that you do like this. So so that got some response. Even some brokers from Bombay, even some brokers from Calcutta. So one was at such opportunity came up with Smith, Stewart and McIntyre, that was then called. So Smith was in Calcutta. They called up that we have received this. Could you come for it? I just went. I in fact, I got a call in the morning. I went in the afternoon. So yeah, I cleared with the erstwhile CIO or head of research that time. I had a round with him and I cleared. And the next day, I think next after a few days, we got an offer. So then I stopped looking at anywhere else. I was like, fine, I got it here. Let me start with it. I think October 17 or so, I started my career there, and it was totally new. So yeah, how every fresher starts, it had started for me as well. I was there. It was a small cell site. They had opened for a 1 year sort of test, although they were known for a long time and they were industry stalwarts also. But institutional cell site is something was new and what they opened up very new that time. A little about sell side since you asked what is sell side and what is buy side in the equity. Well, sell side are just how we say whenever we deal or whenever we any transaction goes through a broker in the capital market or the share market, right? So that broker is the intermediary between the exchange and the party, right? So brokers to get a business. So I want your business, your transaction from me, right? What shall I provide? I provide you with a good execution. That's my job. But now with the competition, what has arisen that there is execution like if there are so many brokers, everyone's execution is more or less fine. But what else they are bringing to the table? They're bringing a research ideas and stock ideas to the table as well. There are 6,000 more than 6,000 companies in the listed, and now it's not possible for a buy side or a fund or a PMS or any fund to have a hold on everything. Brokers are giving it as a additional service that you can say. That is the research part. When we say it, That's how it is in the US and the global markets as well. When we say it, we sell our research to the funds, to institutions, right? That's why they're called sell side. Sell side, as they are selling their research to them. And as a result, the kind of assistance and the research, the guidance you're getting, you also give more business. So let's say our top brokers like Kotak, Indian brokers, Kotak, Motilal, Nuvama, they have their own research team. They have top quality research, and they provide that research to the institutions. As a result, the institution, if they're happy with that, they give the
They will
larger share
execute
of the
the
business
trade
to
through
them.
the broking arm of these companies so that these
Right.
companies get a
A la-
commission.
and hence a larger sum of business. They also like generally how the rule is or industry goes on. Let's say 50% of the business that goes to the top 10 brokers. That's how the voting also happens in this scenario. Every quarter, every or 6 months, we give a vote to this. This is best execution, best research, and hence overall blended score comes, and that's how we give our business to the
But
brokers.
tell me something, why would they not execute on a direct platform like a Zerodha and get a flat 20 rupees per trade? Do they necessarily have to route it through securities and just pay that huge brokerage to execute the trades?
When we Zerodha and all, that's a good for retail, right? When there's a small amount, when institutions give, so let's say SBI mutual fund, it's a 7 lakh crore AUM, any trade goes every day to 20,000, 50,000 crores of trade happening. To execute those, it's not easy for a platform or an algorithm to match that. You need a broker, you need that sort of careful disclosure in the execution also. You cannot just let everyone know that I'm executing this, I have this much order, and the market, the stock price will get manipulated heavily. That careful disclosure, there the broker execution comes, how he deals with it.
And
Beautifully, some execution happens also.
you used to organize a lot of these con calls for sugar, for large industrials. What was that exactly? And what is basically a typical day in the life of a sell side analyst? What does he do? Very quickly, if you can tell us.
Yes. So basically, sell side, how the industry is, uh, in any sell side or any buy side, uh, there's a team of research analysts, and that gets segregated into sectors, right? What my sectors were, I started with cement, power, utilities, and sugar. So in next on so also I continued with this. Now what happened? These particular sectors, you have to be top of those sectors. You have to understand all the dynamics in industry, economics, what is going on, every cost, everything. You even if you can go to the depth of like what management, where stage, what management is eating for lunch, then also it is good. No issues. There's no limit knowing on this. At the same time, you have to provide with a view, valuation, and everything to the and assess the fund analyst or the fund manager in your counterpart. Now, every company, with its duty to interact with the shareholders and the investors, they hold AGM, they release annual report. At the same time, every quarter results, after every quarter results, they put out presentations and on earnings call also. Right. Now, in earning call, to have a better communication with the investors, what is going on so that becomes an investor friendly company. That becomes a transparent, that gives good corporate governance reflection also. So in order to hold those, uh, we as a broker, we as sell side at then that time, we used to connect with the company, and we say that we'll hold your con call, we'll arrange your con call. You come to this meeting, and we'll have uh, analysts and funds and investors also joining this call. So they used to let us in hold this con call. So during my time in the sell side, I held a lot of companies, even Adani Power, CSC at one time, Balram Puccini, where once you were also there that time. So yeah, I used to hold. So there we used to. There's of course the vendor chorus call was also there. We used to just connect with them and hold a call with them. So several participants from all over the world, in fact, can join in with the specific telephone lines and ask the management that question. So I used to control the whole board also. Whoever is the host, right? They can control which. Suppose we used to have the clients first, right? Whichever our bigger clients, we used to give first preference to them, and whoever has come first or has joined first. So that's how Concall used
What
to
were
work.
your hits and misses in terms of, let's say, targets that you gave and some
Hmm.
eureka moments where the industry suddenly said, oh, here is this analyst, Anupam Goswami. He was bang on a particular call that he gave.
So I remember BNK, and it was during the COVID time when I joined. A lot of reforms was going in the sugar industry, and BNK was the first to research on that. I was also in Calcutta that time, and Balram Puccini also in Calcutta. I remember meeting up to them and understanding what sort of reforms were coming, and quickly more research in the sector, more research on the economics. I could understand that ethanol reforms could be a game changer for the industry at all. It's a big time. The sugar industry was a very bulky and a loss-making industry, very high working capital sort of industry. That is going to change. So there, I think we were the first one in the industry to came out with a very, very good report. I am saying because of the fact that it was at the correct inflection point and a very detailed note also on four companies: Balrampur, Triveni, EID Parry, Dwarikesh. So yes, I met all of them, and yes, that time absolutely. I think Dwarikesh had got 25. Now it's 140 or something. It went up to 140. Balrampur also at that time was 125 or 150s, and then the journey was like 600. So yeah, I could understand that there's a multiple re-rating opportunity for this. Sugar used to be considered a very
I think
loss-making
Praj
and a very
Industries also.
working. Yes, Praj industry in the capital goods side. Yes. So all sort of came, talking to it. This ideas comes generally when you have good reading all the time and good industry connect as well as management connect. So that's how it helped. That's how the idea came also, and we jumped on it. So that was very good, and I think the report got also very acclaimed everywhere.
So one fine day, you said, was enough of sell side because I think sell side comes with a lot of pressure
Hmm.
also. And then buy side is more rewarding.
Hmm.
Is that understanding correct? And how did you actually move to buy side at Star Union Daiichi?
Hmm. Well, everything has both side has its own pros and cons. Both side has its own working dynamics that way. Sell side, however, since you are a research analyst and you have to research, so there would be a lot of communication to the institution, a lot of selling pressure or the work, I would say. And how would you do that? You would do that with your more of notes and reports, more of that. So that's the way of sell side work. There will be a lot of report to be released. There will be a lot of presentations to be made. There will be a lot of fund work or let's say a model from any fund, and you are making it in your way and sending it to them. So a lot of this sort of works comes. There will be a lot of communication to the funds rather than, so let's say 50% research, 50% communication on all sort of means. Whereas buy side, it's completely different. You are in the front lines. There is no matter you get a guidance, no matter you get a assistance, doesn't matter. You are in the front line. You are responsible for everything, right? So that opportunity came while I was in a sell side. An opportunity came up. Buy side in generally to crack, they take about 8 years, 10 years, or even 6 years at least, sort of experience to come into buy side. So at that time, I had that experience, and I got an opportunity, and I took it. But that came up with a lot of transition, a lot of change. Earlier, how it used to be, my view, my work used to be a little narrow sided, and in the buy side, it was like immense. How, if I can elaborate, everything, you're responsible for everything, right? There would be not a single movement that you should not know about. So your scope widens. Sell side, maybe you are doing a 20 company coverage. In the buy side, I started with 50, 55 companies in the coverage. So you have to have every sort of grip, what is happening, what any update is coming, what sort of very clear view, and that only comes with experience and only comes with a rigorous practice, or you have seen the company, you have seen the industry for a long time. Then you can only gauge that if any update comes, if any news comes, any order, what can be the financial impact of it. So, but yes, there is no reporting to anyone right now. Of course, you are in a fund. Whom will you report? You are internally managing the fund in your with your fund manager, with your CIO, and everyone, right? So yeah, your reporting part there is goes off, but yes, it comes with a more responsibility, more workloads.
What does it mean to actually handle 1200 crores? What is the kind of size of trades that you place on a day? And you call up that sell side guy and say, okay, execute this order for me. What is the adrenaline rush? What is the kind of excitement that it comes with?
Yes. So I joined this company as a buy side with an analyst, and then moved on to slight funds, and that's how the transition also happens in the industry. My CIO sir also guides me in this. So to manage this fund in any particular life insurance, you have ULIP and non-linked funds, right? Linked funds are totally linked to markets, while as non-linked funds, you say that that is not linked to the market. You give a share unit holder or policy holder uh, a guaranteed sum of return, and anything above, it's the profit to the company. But one thing is sure, that these are the hard-earned money of policyholders, retirement money, their savings. So hence that sort of cautious and that sort of responsibility one has. So that itself comes. It's not, I would say, a slight different with the mutual fund. Mutual fund is comes with a wealth sort of mindset, and this comes with a savings and life savings sort of mindset. So yeah, this savings, this investment comes with a little extra responsibility. First and foremost, we are known that this is someone's entire life savings, or this is going to be someone's uh, money or wealth in terms of urgent need.
So,
So yeah.
what are the kind of IRR targets that you all have in this industry? Will it be just 6-7% that an insurance product gives, or is it more?
No, it has to be more, because 6-7% would be we guarantee to the uh, policy holders, and if it is more, then it comes to us, right? The profit, and then also we have loyalty additions and all sort of instruments to make the product attractive. So yes, the more the returns, the more the better. But at the same time, with very very and with less risk. It doesn't mean that we will not risk, as in we will not go to mid cap or small cap. That doesn't mean that. It means that you take more cautious, and of course with the IRDA regulations, 10% of this industry you cannot go, or 10% of one stock of the AUM you cannot go invest more. So all sort of filters are there. So there you have to imply those.
My final question, what will be your advice to a youngster, maybe after just class 12, who is getting into CA, CFA, wanting to become Anupam after 7-8 years? What would be your advice to him?
Well, any student right now, I would say first make up your mind where you want to, because CA comes with the different fields, right? It gives you immense knowledge with the different fields. You don't need too much of degree. CA is very good enough, right? And if you fixing on a field which is equity analyst in this equity field, start reading newspapers, start reading those business standards, start uh, reading and take up any sort of sector, start reading the dynamics of it. These are all public information, nothing, sort of hidden or something you come on the job. It's not, is there. It's all public information. We also read from annual reports, phone calls, and transcripts and everything. That's open to everyone. Now with the AI and those things are coming, I think this young generation is much smarter than us also in picking up things, right? So start getting your, if everyone has somewhere or the other plus or minus in some industry knowledge, right? Maybe they have audited their articleship or any industrial training they have done in CA in certain industry. They will have that edge. Pick up those. You will find more faster sort of knowledge or a better knowledge than others. Pick that sector up. Start reading about different 2 3 companies at least, and have a mind. Start having a mindset of an investor. Investor will not look into a industry like how it does, what is the in the product. They will not go very details of it. Of course they will go and every dynamics, but they will come out with a in mindset in the numbers, financial statement numbers, like where the revenue can grow to, where the profit can grow to, how is the ROE going to change. So all sort of with a mindset of this, and of course later on the how can you value that capital. Start having that, preparing that mindset. So once you're clear with CA, once you're done, you're always you're already half of the analyst you have become. So yeah, you will have an edge on definitely on others. And given this industry with a very small number of participants and candidates, it will be a very tough and competitive always.
I think that's
Everybody
very
wants
helpful.
to get.
Yeah. Yeah. So one has to be very clear that he builds or she builds skills in this, then the outreach in terms of the cold emails or finding your network, and then actually making the impact felt when you're actually there. For example, when you were in BNK, you made that forecast on sugar, on Praj Industries, which
Hmm.
caught the attention of the market. And that kind of becomes the inflection point for one's career. So wish you the very
Yes.
best,
Yes.
Anupam, for your future and hope to see you back on this show, maybe with greater insights in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.